discusses various poems every week along with the lives of the poets, reaching many interpretations and conclusions. Every poem touches the real essence of poetry. With a fun and emotional environment, the club aspires to achieve the mindset of a real writer. As the youth of the nation, it is our duty to stand up against the wrong and support the growth of our society. The new farm laws have been making headlines. The Elysian gives you an opportunity to discuss at length your views and arguments about the same. As our guest of honor, we have Mr. Sachin Sinha in our midst. He is the assistant professor in the MBA department of ITS Engineering College, Greater Noida. He has an MCOM and has 14 years of experience in teaching. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with your esteemed presence.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
Now over to Adya and Alan for further proceedings.
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm Adya and I'll be your moderator today along with Alan, who will be our timekeeper. I officially welcome you all to this event, Politico, where I'll discuss, debate and debate on farm laws and their merits and demerits. Before we start, I'd like to put out some rules and regulations for all the participants. The competition starts to anyone above the age of 13, with international entries also welcome. In this competition, everybody will be given 5 minutes to present their arguments, both the rounds, followed by questions and answers. After 4 minutes, there will be a warning bell, and after 5 minutes, there will be a final bell, indicating that the time up. There will be an interjection round as well, open to our judge, as well as other participants. The debate will be held in Hindi as well as English. Students are requested to adhere to rules and regulations to avoid qualification. Any technical issue faced by any participant shall be entirely his or her responsibility, and organizers owe no liability or responsibility towards the same. The decision of the judge shall be final and binding to any matters connecting with the competition. In the case of a tie, the higher rank would be determined by the draw of chits. The organizers can change the rule of the competition at any time. With that, I wish you all luck for the debate, and we shall start first with the Hindi round. Can I please call upon Satyam, who will be speaking for the topic?
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, Satyam.
Yeah, good evening to all of you. So can we start?
Good evening.
Is the timer visible?
Alan, please share your screen.
Yeah, I am sharing. Just a second. Is it visible now?
Not yet. Yes, it's now.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Satyam, you may start now, please.
Okay. नमस्ते सभी को। जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कि भारत सरकार ने पिछले कुछ दिन पहले हमने 3 बिल पास किया, जिसमें से 2 बिल पहले से न्यू 3 बिल पास किया, जिसमें 3 बिल मुख्य प्रकार इस प्रकार से है। प्रथम बिल जो है उनका है कि विकास, उपज और व्यापार एवं विभिन्न बीज एवं संवर्धन एवं सुविधा विधेयक 2020। इसके अंतर्गत सरकार ये बनाना चाहती है कि एंटरटेनमेंट करना है 2022 किसानों को दोगुनी आय करने की सरकार ने एक विभिन्न योजना से आगे बढ़ रही है।
अरे वो नहीं, जितने कॉन्फिडेंस से बोल रहा है, गलत हिंदी, इतने कॉन्फिडेंस से बोल रहा है। पहला बंदा
Aditya, please mute yourself. You're a participant. We expect decorum from you. I'm sorry for the interruption, Satyam. You'll get 20.
Ma'am, I'm really sorry. I was not available and the phone was taken by some of my friends. I'm at the hostel. I'm really sorry.
It's all right. We're in the middle of.
I'm really sorry, ma'am. I'm really sorry, Satyam.
All right. Satyam, you'll get 40 seconds extra. Please continue.
Okay, can we start?
Yes, please start again.
भारत सरकार ने 3 बिल जो पास किए उसमें मुख्य इस प्रकार से है। प्रथम है किसान उपज व्यापार एवं वाणिज्य संवर्धन एवं सुविधा विधेयक 2020। इसके अंतर्गत सरकार का यह मानना है कि ऐसी व्यवस्था बनाना जहां किसान व व्यापारी राज्य में स्थित कृषि उत्पादों बाजार समिति से बाहर उत्पादों की खरीद बिक्री कर सके। राज्य के भीतर तथा राज्य के बाहर किसानों को उत्पादों के निर्बाध एवं व्यापार को बढ़ावा देना और व्यापार परिवहन लागत को इसे कम करके किसानों को उनके उत्पादों के मुताबिक अधिक से अधिक मूल्य दिलवाना। और इसके ये सबसे अच्छा से अगर हम समझा जाए तो इसके मूल्य है कि एक वन नेशन वन मार्केट, अर्थात एक देश में एक मार्केट होनी चाहिए, जिससे हिसाब से होगी कि अब कि किसान को अच्छा से अपने सामान को बेचने में किसी प्रकार से कोई कठिनाई नहीं होगी और कहीं पे भी किसान अपनी फसल को बेच सकते हैं अपने किसी भी उच्च मूल्य पे, उसलिए कोई सरकार तरफ से पाबंदी नहीं दी गई है। और जहां तक की बात है कि मंडी ये बार बार की जा रही है कि मंडी खत्म हो जाएगी, तो सरकार ने इस बात की काफी आश्वासन दिया कि मंडी किसी कीमत पे खत्म नहीं होने जा रही है। और ये जो प्रावधान है, इस प्रावधान के अनुसार सरकार का मानना है कि आने वाले दिनों में किसान एक बहुत अच्छे से आगे डेवलप करेंगे और हमारे समाज में एक बड़े बदलाव करेंगे, क्योंकि किसान ही हमारी एक ऐसी चीज है जो हमारी बुनियादी चीज है जिन पे हम निर्भर करते हैं। दूसरी बात कि किसानों में इससे फायदा क्या होगा ना, कि बहुत सारी इससे फायदा होगी। प्रथम ये बिल से क्या होगी, किसानों को जो क्वालिटी होगी वो क्वालिटी की जो बीज होगी वो आपूर्ति अच्छे से मिलेगी, जिससे क्या होगा कि फसल स्वास्थ्य की निगरानी भी बढ़ेगी और फसल स्वास्थ्य की निगरानी के साथ साथ उनकी जो उनकी देखभाल की सब्जा है सच्ची उच्च क्वालिटी पे मिलेगी। और दूसरी चीज है कि सबसे बड़ी दूसरी चीज है कि सरकार जो इस बिंदु पे बना चाहती है कि एक हमारे किसान जो होते हैं वो एक तरह से पूरी तरह से ये समृद्ध होने का आशा है कि अगर हमारे किसान समृद्ध होते हैं तभी हमारी देश भी विकसित होगी, क्योंकि बिना किसान को समृद्ध हुए देश को विकसित करना संभव नहीं है। जबकि इसके पीछे भी एक कारण दी गई है कि किसानों को अपने उत्पादों को बेचने के लिए मंडी एवं व्यापारियों तक ही सीमित इसमें नहीं रहना पड़ेगा। इससे कृषि के उत्पादों को अच्छी कीमत भी मिल सकेगी और मंडियों के अलावा जो फार्मेट, कोल्ड स्टोर और वेयर हाउसेस अदर चीज जो बनाए गए हैं, मंडियों में व्यापार के ज्यादा अवसर इससे पैदा होंगे। मंडियों और किसानों के बीच आने वाले को जो बिचौलिए हो जो किसानों के बीच में हमेशा जो उसके हक मार देते हैं, वैसी सारे चीज ये प्रावधान बंद हो जाएगी। नई व्यवस्था में बिचौलिए की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं रहेगी। डायरेक्ट किसान खुद पर खुद निर्भर रहेंगे और बड़े से बड़े कोई भी चीज करना होगा तो बिचौलिए की कोई काम नहीं होगी। इससे सीधा लाभ किसानों को मिलेगा, उनकी आय में वृद्धि होगी। जबकि सरकार का ये शुरू से मानना रहा है कि किसी को विधायक करने में किसान को हमारे किसान को विकसित करना हमारे एक निजी प्रायोरिटी बनने की आवश्यकता है, हिसाब से आगे बढ़ सकती है। जबकि दूसरी जो बिल है सरकार की, उनका है कि किसान सशक्तिकरण, संरक्षण, कीमत आश्वासन और कृषि सेवा अपर विधेयक 2020। इसके अनुसार सरकार का मानना है कि किसान को इससे एक बड़ी चीज में भी लाभ होगी। इसे मानना है कि किसानों को कृषि कारोबार में आने वाली जो कंपनियां होती है, प्रसंस्करण जो इकाइयां होती है बड़ी बड़ी, उनकी थोक विक्रेता, निर्यातक और संगठित जो खुदरा विक्रेता उसको सीधे जोड़ना होगा। अब कृषि उत्पादों का जो पूर्व से ही दाम तय करके जो व्यापारियों को करार की जो सुविधा जो प्रदान की गई है वो पहले से ही और नई व्यवस्था में उसको सुचारू ढंग से किया जाएगा। और 5 हेक्टेयर से जिसको कम भूमि वाले सीमांत जो छोटे किसान जो समूह को अनुबंधित जो कृषि का जो लाभ उनको देना मुख्य रूप से सरकार का ये प्रावधान है। देश में हम जानते हैं कि 66% से कम किसान के पास 5 हेक्टेयर से कम जमीन है। मुख्य रूप से सरकार का मानना है कि वो लोग इस चीज को लिए ज्यादा लाभान्वित होंगे, ज्यादा फायदा होंगे और अधिक उत्पादन के लिए किसानों तक आधुनिक तो पहुंचाना किसान की एक निजी ये प्राइवेसी बन गई है। इसके बाद भी हम देखा जाए तो सरकार ने यह आश्वासन दिया है कि 30 दिनों के भीतर किसी प्रकार से अगर ऐसी समस्या होगी है तो हम इसके विदारे में निपटारण कर सकेंगे। इसके बाद है कि कृषि जो क्षेत्र में जो बड़ी बड़ी शोध होते हैं, विकास होते हैं, R&D जिसको हम कहते हैं, उसके हिसाब से सरकार एक नई प्रोविजन लाएगी, इससे लोग अच्छे से शोध कर सकते हैं, नई चीज को दे सकते हैं। अनुबंधित किसानों को भी जो भी प्रकार की जो ये कृषि उपकरणों की जो सुविधाजनक आपूर्ति जो हो सकेगी, सरकार वहां तक करने के लिए आश्वासन दे रही है। और अनुबंधित किसानों को उत्पाद बेचने के लिए एवं मंडियों एवं व्यापारियों को चक्कर अब नहीं लगाने पड़े, जो पहले उनके पीछे जाने पड़ते हैं, बीच में कोई दलाल मिलकर सारे किसान को सारी चीज को लेनी देनी बरोबर कर देते थे कि किसान को बिचौलिए को कोई फायदा नहीं होता था, सारे बिचौलिए फायदा हो जाते थे। इससे क्या होगा कि खेत में उपज की गुणवत्ता और जांच की जो ग्रेडिंग होगी और बैगिंग जैसी परिवहन सुविधाएं आपस में विकसित होगी, जिससे किसान एवं बड़े चीज में आप अवसर में वो विकास करेंगे। विकास के साथ साथ वो हम जानते हैं कि किसान जब विकसित करेंगे तभी हमारी देश का एक निर्माण हो
Alright,
सकेगा।
Satyam, you've exceeded your time limit by 10 seconds. Thank you very much for speaking and being here today. The floor is now open to any interjections or comments by the judges and the other participants. So,
No, you can proceed with the another participants.
all right. Does anybody in the audience have any questions, interjections? All right, seeing as nobody has any interjections, we'll move on to the next participant for the Hindi language, that is Harditya, who will be speaking against the topic. Harditya, you'll have 5 minutes.
Ma'am, first of all, I would like to ask sorry from the judges and from Satyam for whatever happened due to my friends. And I promise that all these things won't be repeated again in near future.
All right, Harditya, also in future, I would request you not to interrupt anybody while they're speaking.
So, no, ma'am. Sorry,
5
ma'am.
minutes total, you'll get 5 minutes total. A warning bell will be rung after 4 minutes and a final bell at 5 minutes. All right, you may start now.
हमारे देश के दूसरे प्रधानमंत्री स्वर्गीय श्री लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी ने दिल्ली के रामलीला मैदान में सन 1965 में पहली बार जय जवान जय किसान का नारा भारत पाकिस्तान की युद्ध की आपदा के समय अनाज की कमी के कारण हताश और निराश लोगों को सांत्वना देने के लिए दिया था। और आज हमारे देश यानी भारत, जो कि कृषि प्रधान देश है, वहाँ का किसान किसी युद्ध का नहीं अपितु राजनीतिक आपदा का सामना कर रहा है। और इसके सामने जो चुनौतियां हैं वे भी कोई साधारण नहीं अपितु भारत के नवीन कृषि कानून हैं, जिनका विरोध अत्यंत ही पीड़ादायक सिद्ध हो रहा है। आज मैं इस मंच के माध्यम से इन नवीन कृषि कानूनों का विरोध करूंगा। हमारे बेचारे किसान न जाने कितने ही समय से आंदोलन पर हैं, किंतु हमारी सरकार के कान पर जूं तक नहीं रहेंगे। सर्वाधिक सुर्खियों और विरोध का जो हकदार बना है वह कानून है कृषक उपज व्यापार और वाणिज्य। इस कानून के तहत दिखाने के लिए तो सरकार किसानों के लिए उनकी उपज को बेचने के विकल्प बढ़ा रही है, किंतु इसके पीछे सरकार का निहित स्वार्थ है जो बड़े उद्योगपतियों के सहारे सिद्ध होगा। इसके अंतर्गत बड़े कॉरपोरेट खरीदारों को यह छूट दी जा रही है कि वे बिना किसी पंजीकरण और बिना किसी कानून के दायरे में आए हुए किसानों की उपज को खरीद बेच सकते हैं। किसानों को मिलने वाले एमएसपी के दाम पर ही वे इस सारी योजना को ठप कर सकते हैं यदि वे सारे आपस में हाथ मिला लें। जो किसान आज तक ये उम्मीद लगाए बैठे थे कि हमारा अनाज स्वर्ण के दाम पर बिकेगा, वे बेचारे फिर से हताश होकर रह जाएंगे अपने अनाज को कौड़ियों के दाम पर बिकते हुए। वो किसान जो सालों से अपनी उपज को सरकारी मंडियों में बेच रहे हैं और जिन लोगों को उस चीज की आदत हो चुकी है, वे सभी इस बात से काफी निराश व हताश हैं। इस कानून के कारण आड़तियों का कारोबार तो बंद हुआ ही है और साथ ही साथ उन किसानों के बेचने के तरीके में भी काफी फर्क आएगा जिनको इन सब नए कानूनों के बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है और ना ही जो इन सब चीजों के लिए उपयुक्त पढ़े लिखे हैं। अगला चिंताजनक कानून है मूल्य निर्धारण और कृषि सेवा, जिसके अंतर्गत सरकार यह कह रही है कि किसान के उपज उगाने से पहले ही उसका दाम निश्चित करना होगा और स्वयं को किसी खरीदार के साथ अनुबंध में बांधने का प्रावधान रखा गया है। ये अनुबंध अधिकतम 5 वर्षों के लिए हो सकता है। इस अनुबंध के अंतर्गत यदि किसान ने अपनी उपज का दाम 30 रुपए प्रति मन तय किया है तो वे किसी भी कारणवश उस दाम को नहीं बढ़ा सकता, चाहे प्राकृतिक आपदाओं का सामना करने की बदौलत उसे अनाज उगाने में ही 35 रुपए प्रति मन क्यों ना लग गए हो, लेकिन अगर अनुबंध 30 रुपए में तय हुआ है तो उसे 30 रुपए में ही बेचनी होगी। अगर ऐसा ही 2-3 साल तक होता रहा तो वो बेचारा किसान अपना घर बार और मां समान जमीन सब खो देगा। वे एक ऐसा व्यक्ति बनकर रह जाएगा जो इधर से उधर केवल ऋण चुकाने के लिए घूम रहा है, जिसका कारण यह भी हो सकता है कि ऐसे किसान आत्महत्या करें। ये एक तरह से आत्मघाती सिद्ध हो सकता है उन किसानों के लिए जो छोटे किसान हैं, जिनके पास कम जमीन है। हमारी सरकार कहती तो है कि वे पक्षपात नहीं करती, उसके लिए गरीब और अमीर नागरिक एक समान है, किंतु ये तीसरे नियम से तो बात बिल्कुल ही विपरीत सिद्ध होती है। जैसा कि हम सब जानते हैं कि तीसरा नियम आवश्यक वस्तु अधिनियम है। पहले इस नियम के अंतर्गत आवश्यक वस्तुओं के भंडारण पर एक सीमा रेखा लगाई गई थी, किंतु अब सरकार ने उस सीमा रेखा को खारिज कर दिया है। सरकार के अनुसार अब कोई भी बिना किसी रोक टोक के आवश्यक वस्तुओं का कितना भी भंडारण कर सकेगा। जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं, इस भंडारण के लिए कोल्ड स्टोरेज की आवश्यकता पड़ती है, किंतु हमारे जो किसान हैं उनके पास तो इतना पैसा नहीं कि वे कोल्ड स्टोरेज का खर्चा उठा सके। तो ये भी जाकर के बड़े उद्योगपतियों के पास ही जाएगा अनाज, और जिनको इस बात से कोई मतलब नहीं कि हमारे देश की आम जनता खुश है या दुखी है, वे भूखी है या वे उनका पेट भरा हुआ है, उन्हें केवल अपना घर भरने से मतलब है। और जैसे ही बाजार में इन सभी चीजों की कमी होगी, वे अत्यधिक दामों पर इन सभी अनाज को बेचकर अपने ही घर को भरने वाले हैं। जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि भारत में आज भी ऐसी जनता है जो केवल रियायती दरों पर अनाज खरीद सकती है। और जैसे जैसे ये सब कुछ उद्योगपतियों के अंतर्गत जाता जा रहा है, वैसे वैसे इसका निजीकरण हो जाएगा, और निजीकरण के बाद ये रियायती दरों पे तो छोड़िए, आसमान के भाव पर बिकेगा अनाज। तो वही बेचारी गरीब जनता कहाँ जाएगी, किसके पास जाएगी? इन सवालों के जवाब के लिए हर व्यक्ति सरकार के दरवाजे खटखटा रहा है, लेकिन हर बार यही बोला जा रहा है कि 30 दिन के अंदर अंदर हम सबकी सुनवाई करेंगे, 30 दिन के अंदर अंदर हम सबकी सुनवाई करेंगे, किंतु आज तक कोई सुनवाई नहीं हुई। इन सभी आज जो ये सब प्रश्न उठे हैं, ये सभी गंभीर प्रश्न हैं। हम सब ये जानते हैं कि हमें इन पर आवाज उठानी होगी, लेकिन हम सभी मौन हैं। इससे पहले देर हो जाए, कृपया आवाज उठाइए। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Harditya. The floor is now open to comments and interjections. So, if you would like to.
No, you can move further.
All right. Any interjections by the audience or the other participants? All right. Moving on, next we have the English segment of the debate. First, we have Ayushman Das, who will be speaking for the topic. Ayushman, you have the floor now. You'll be given 5 minutes. A bell will be rung after 4 and a final bell after 5. You may start.
Before that, I just want you to clarify with me if you can hear me, you can see me, because we're having a load shedding here.
That's all right. We can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So when I say 3, 2, 1, so you can start. You can start the timer.
Right. Alan, please.
3, 2, 1. Okay. So good evening, everyone, to the judges and all the participants present here. Today, we're here to discuss a very important and very misinformed strata of our legal system and our administrative system, which is the farm laws. Now, we need to understand that these farm laws are not bad for our country. We need to understand this is a boon for our country of the Indian state at large. First of all, most of the people in our country do not even know the names of the bills. So let's clarify the names of the bills first. The 3 names are the Farm Produce Trade and Commerce Act, the Farmers Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act, and the Essential Commodities Act. These are legally, economically, and strategically valid. Now, why? Let's argue. As asserted in the FPTCA Act 2020, the government is not doing away with, of course, the authoritarian APMC and the MSP market, but it is only regulating these markets because there is a system of arathyas and middlemen who are encroaching over these markets and making a price of their own in those particular markets, and is actually hampering the farmers at large. This specific act allows free market transportation of goods, free interstate business, and no cess. This adds to the idea of a free open market to various options that would help the farmers to increase their income and also revenue. So this is not a system where the government is closing all the doors, but it is actually opening every kind of door, where they are going with the age-old system of MSP. Of course, they are trying to regulate the APMCs, but also giving various other options for the farmers to sell their produce, because it has become very authoritarian from the APMC arathyas for a very, very long time. And this is only for their benefit and not for anyone else's. Now, coming to the most misunderstood and most misread part of the act, which is the FAP-FSA Act. The government has from time to time been accused of being a hypocrite for selling of agriculture to private players. The act actually talks about a concept called contract farming. Now, what is contract farming? If the farmers want, they can sell their products to private businessmen, which will give them more power to these farmers. The private players can also produce from the farmers, here they don't always have to depend on the MSPs. The MSPs, which is the minimum setup price, which had been set long time in the 1960s, was a system used by the then government to help a country that was a food deficit country. We need to understand that the country right now is a food surplus country, and the Food Corporation of India is overflowing with excess amount of produce and crops, and this is only detrimental to the economy at large and not on an objectified farmer level discussion, which we are coming to. We must understand that although the government is trying their best, there is obviously the Khap Panchayats, the left, the radical communist belt, and a bunch of entitled masses that are trying to inflict a wrong idea of this very bill. The Prime Minister has reiterated from time to time that the minimum support price will not go anywhere. After 8 rounds of talks, also it seems that the union leaders have not understood this and have zero understanding of the very concept of the bill and the laws. Now, coming to a very important aspect of the bill, the FPO, which is added in the second act, talks about Farmers Protection Organization, where the farmers can talk about their problems with the contractors, with the Aratyas and various middlemen, and they can give these grievances to the subdivisional magistrate. This will be an out-of-court settlement where they'll have an arbitral mediation of sorts, and they can actually solve their problems than an actual court system, which is much more time-taking and longer. Now, coming to the protests. The protests are a misinformed orchestration of people who have been told that the bills are a certain kind and that they are not going to get their old systems and their old produce. Now, the Shanta Kumar Committee report of 2015 said that there are only 14% of the population that actually benefits from MSP. Then why all the sudden hue and cry about why this is going and why that is going? The Jats and the Khaps have been brainwashing these emotional people from the Northwest and have been stirring misinformation into their brains about the bills. This bill is also legally valid. The 7th schedule of the concurrent list under entry 33, Center can regulate these agricultural norms, and under Article 249, the Center can litigate on national issues. The toolkit fiasco, the conversation on the 26th January events of violence are all anti-establishment movements to negate such a good and economically valid law that needs to be implemented as fast as possible. The SC has stated, but I hope this gets implemented, and I totally oppose whatever the opposition says. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushman. The floor is now open to any comments by the judge or any interjection.
See, I want to ask a statement that the government declares MSP for the crops, but there is no legal implication.
Yes.
So, Ayushman, what do you say about this statement?
Yes, sir. So we need to understand that the MSP is not a legal norm. It is an administrative process that needs to be implemented. This administrative process has been going on from time to time. And if we start mixing agricultural processes of administrative power into the judicial system, then we are already convoluting both systems together, which is not actually good for the whole system at large.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Do any of the participants want to present an interjection here? All right. Here, I would also like to mention that every time a participant answers an interjection, you have 45 seconds to a minute. I would also like to announce the awards that we'll be handing out. We have Best Speaker for the motion and Best Speaker against the motion, and they can be from either of the languages. Now, moving on to our last participant, we have Yash speaking in English against the topic.
Hello.
Yes, Yash.
Yeah, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you're audible. Yes, you're visible. You have the floor for 5 minutes.
Okay, when I say 1, 2, 3, you can please start.
All right.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, start. So the debate over the Farm Bill 2020 has generated more heat than light. Now, farmers across Punjab, Haryana and Kerala are majorly protesting against the first 3 bills relating to the trade and commerce and assurance of the price. Now, imagine a situation where there are basic necessities of life. One that we call food, shelter and clothing is circumvented by the government. Now, what havoc and disturbance it can create to the society. Now, one thing we as a society need to understand here, that farmers act as a fundamental backbone of our Indian economy. And in this pandemic, where everyone is struggling with their own problems, the farmer is the one who has kept on producing and cultivating basic crops for running the economy and successfully transporting them into mandis. Now, after recent privatization by our government, the concept of mandis and multiple support prices have been removed in the corporation side. Now, this removal is not only going to impact farmers, but also state revenue that was primarily coming in from the mandis. This could be also one of the reasons that why many opposition parties are condemning this bill from the start. Now, this bill, this fear is really losing the basic income arising out of that land, which can't be truer when there is really no such provision and discussion relating to any dispute resolution mechanism in these three bills. Many people have called it an era of draconian laws, be it Industrial Labor Act, or this present day discussed bill relating to the farmers. Now, the issue that is maybe a few farmers may find this bill attractive in the beginning, but in the end, they will not be given proper opportunity to negotiate their desired price, and they won't even have that backup option either in the future. Now, farmers will be at the mercy of big corporations during dealings. If at all MSP is abolished, farmers shall lose their bargaining chip and the last ditch sale option that they have always had. Now, the companies may dictate the price, and the benefits for the smaller farmers may reduce the engagements of sponsors with them. Now, there are still doubts over the way government can comprehensively intervene in case farmers that they get cheated from private buyers as well. As far as the Farmers Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020 is concerned, and there is no guarantee that the farmer's income will be increasing by these bills. Unless the prices are regulated by the government, the market will go into the hands of big businesses, putting both the farmers and the consumers at the risk of exploitation. Now, examples across the globe show that how farmers were exposed to market forces, their incomes being decreased rather than increased. If we take an example of Bihar, when the state abolished APMCs in 2006, farmers got lower prices for the produce than the minimal support price. So agricultural economists are also suggesting that it is important to strengthen the APMCs instead of transferring the responsibility to private entities. Now, the government declares MSPs for crops, but there is no statutory backing for these prices for any law mandating this implementation. Due to the removal of MSPs from the former Farmer and Agriculture Bill, it will minimize the capacity and strength of bargaining with big companies. Now, a farmer is allowed to sell their product to anyone and anywhere according to their own conveniences. But farmers fear that they won't be having such adequate knowledge to negotiate the best terms with private companies. The government is offered to buy only 23 products at MSPs to support farmers, but in reality, only wheat and rice has been purchased by the government. Haryana and Punjab are the biggest benefactors of this scheme. With permission to trade outside the mandi traders, it will only trade outside because there is no provision of MSPs while dealing with the private players. Now, this might lead to the farmers being underpaid again. Now, farmers may have this fear that that's why protests are happening. But with relating to MSP, only 6% of farmers in India knows about this provision and they get to benefit from this. Now, this implementation is really not good. Now, contract farming. It's not a new concept in the country's farmers. Informal contracts for food grains, formal contracts in sugarcane and poultry sectors are common. Now, Farm Bill promotes contract farming, but in reality, it will only benefit big farmers and not small farmers. For example, if Lay's want 10,000 tons of potatoes for the production of chips, this will only contact big farmers for the requirement and not the small farmers. Now, big corporates have highly paid and skillful team of lawyers, so the farmers would also not have this facility. Now, hence, this is a huge risk of exploitation of farmers from big corporates. It is even apprehensive about formal contractual obligations, which is owing to the unorganized nature of the farm sector and lack of resources for a legal battle with the private corporate entities. Now, market fees, which is levied by the state governments, are removed. Now, generally, according to the APMC Act, the state government has applied a certain amount of tax to trade between the farmers and the traders. Now, if we remove the market fees for trade outside the mandi, it will result in shutting down of the state mandis. And the state government will earn a fairly large income through taxes on this trade, and they will lose this income source. Now, the Price Assurance Bill, while offering protection to farmers against price exploitation, does not prescribe the mechanism of price fixation. Now, there's an apprehension that the free hand given to private corporate houses could lead to the farmer exploitation. Now, the Essential Commodities Ordinances remove cereal, pulses, oilseeds, edible oil, onions, and potatoes from the list of essential commodities. Now, this amendment will deregulate the production, storage, movement, distribution of these food commodities. Now, the central government is allowed to only regulate of supply during war, famine, and extraordinary price rise and natural calamity, while providing exemptions for exporters and processors at such times as well. Now, certain issues in the farmers' agreement on price assurance and farm bill services. Now, there is firstly no mechanism on price fixation. Now, there is unorganized nature of the farm sector. Given the unorganized nature of the farm sector, farmers lack the resources for a legal battle with private corporate entities. Now, this is concern that formal contractual obligations will eventually be detrimental for the poor farmers in the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Yash. Open to any interjections or comments by the judge participants. So,
Yash, I want to ask that why the farmers feel so much fear that they are not accepting this particular bills in the Farmers Act. Why they are not accepting it? What is the main reason behind it?
Yeah, sir. So, as mentioned, that there is no legal backing towards these bills at large. Now, for instance, if you take MSP, now in MSP, like it's a minimum support price given by the government, but there is no legal backing towards it. So if the farmers go to the court one day and they state that I have not been given the prices which have been promised, so it will be easily defeated in court. And now that these private players have also come in, now private players will also have a storm of lawyers in which they will also try to find loopholes in the government policies and make sure that it would be towards their favor. So by which farmers would be defeated in each and every way. And farmers are even scared that even if they try to, even if they're in the right way in terms of, means like they know that they're going to be winning this case, but still they have that fear of the security and the privacy that has been maintained by them, that the private farmers may try to harm them in any way in terms of financial wise or security wise. So that's why farmers mainly are fearing.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Yash. This concludes our debate for the final round of the Politico. So, would you like to say anything?
Ma'am, I think that the farmer should not feel fear in accepting this farm law, because it is in the benefit of the economy. As the government is you all know, it is also a think tank for the economy, where they all have taken the decision related to the development of the economy, the development of the farmer sectors, the development of the different sectors where they are lacking, and there's lots of exploitation in the agricultural products. So this is what the initiative was taken by the government, and I hope that it will give a benefit to all the farmers. And I don't know that why they are not accepting it, but I think that later on they will be accepting it, because the government is trying to put more emphasis to make them understand that how this will provide the benefit to the farmer sectors and the agricultural output of their country.
All right. Thank you for your wise words, sir. I would like to notify you about the time limits of each participant. Satyam took 5 minutes, 22 seconds. Aditya took 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Ayushman finished in 4 minutes, 49 seconds, and Yash in 5 minutes, 15 seconds. With this, we come to an end of this extremely enthusiastic debate competition, and I would like to hand it over to one of our student coordinators, Shivranjani, now. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shivranjani, and I'm the media head for the Elysian and one of the student coordinators for the Politico. It was indeed a really informative and a good semi-final and final rounds. And I've seen all of you speaking so well against the motion and for the motion. And to be very honest, I did not know much about the farm laws. I mean, I knew the legal aspects, what were actually we were trying to study as law students, but I did not know so much about it, especially the MSP and everything. So thank you everyone for this very informative session. And I would also like to thank Mr. Sachin Sinha again for taking out time and inspiring all of us with his knowledge and whatever he has said about the farm laws. And I would like to extend my utmost gratitude to Professor Dr. Aditya Tomar and Dr. Sumitra Singh, who have been our guiding light all along, but could not be here today because of some reasons. And I would also like to thank Aditya Jain and Kashish Mathur, the convener of the Legion, for being extremely supportive throughout the journey of and organizing this event. Thank you to all the participants. Your participation speaks volume about the responsibility you have taken to be an informed citizen. And last but not the least, I want to extend my utmost gratitude and thank you to all of the people working behind the scenes who have strived and worked hard to make this event a success. Thank you and have a good evening. Also, we shall wait for the final results. Now over to Tanishta.
So,
Yes.
can I ask you that have you compiled the results?
Yes.
So, can you please go ahead and announce the results? Everyone is pretty excited for the
Okay.
results. Thank you, sir.
First of all, I would like to appreciate all the participants that they have done their lots of efforts to prepare this debate, and they have come to the final round. It is a very tough task where they are reaching to the final round. But for the today, we have the one speaker that is for the motion, the best speaker for the motion, and the best speaker against the motion, where I have concluded on my observation and the judgment skills. So best speaker for the motion goes to Ayushman, and the best speaker against the motion goes to Yash.
Congratulations, Ayushman. And Yash.
Thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations, both of you. Can you
I
please
would
sit
like
on
to
the
give my
camera?
best wishes to all of you that you can keep it up.
Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
thank you so much, sir. And Yash and Ayushman, congratulations. And since I would like to just mention that losing is not a big thing. So Satyam and Harditya, you guys were really great. But eventually, at the end of the day, there is only one or two winner. So this was it.
This is not the ending. This is, you can say, this is the beginning of the next challenge, where they are going to perform on some another platform. So there you can take a motivation that you can prepare for some other platform also.
Right,
Good
sir.
wishes from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations to both of the winners, and we will be sending you the certificates pretty soon. And best of luck for everyone else who participated. You guys spoke very well, and hope to see you in other competitions hosted by Legion. Thank you so much. You guys can leave.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you all. Congratulations for the winners.
Thank you, sir.
First of you can end the meeting.